This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey everybody, welcome to the weekly show where we take a look back and forward at some of the biggest news affecting the sport that we love. Whether it's a broken home run record, a famous player's birth, or a major franchise trade, we'll have it all covered. I'm Jeff Lambert, and this is This Week in Baseball History. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the bonus show, This Week in Baseball History. We're going to be covering what happened between November 11th and 17th. We're after the World Series, so a lot of what we're going to be seeing in the entries for this week are related to season-ending awards, which, it's a great time of year to be able to look back and see some of those memorable moments. So I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. There's some good ones this week. I even learned a couple things just like going through and looking at some of the specific statistics and players, learning about, these capping seasons that they had. It's very interesting. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's go ahead and get into each entry. On November 11th, 1981, Fernando Valenzuela made Cy Young history. This Dodgers southpaw became the first rookie ever to win the Cy Young Award, and he edged out veteran Tom Seaver in a very close vote for this. He won 70-67. Now, Valenzuela, right from the start, was a fan favorite. He had this really unique windup. He had this skill set of being able to mix up pitches and speeds. Right from the start, this young kid just really impressed everybody, captured the country's attention, and that season was capped. Many reporters called it Fernando Mania, just with the excitement around the skill that he displayed. And he had a great rookie year. He led the league in strikeouts with 180, and he pitched 8 complete games that season. So that win set the stage for a Hall of Fame caliber career for him. He inspired a generation of fans too, especially within the Latino community. On November 12th, 1996, Pat Henkin narrowly won the Cy Young Award. If you're not familiar with Pat Henkin, he narrowly beat Yankees ace Andy Pettitte for the American League Cy Young this season in a very close vote. It was 110-104. That's the closest voting for this award since 1972. Now, Henkin put up a great season. He went 20-10, and he led the majors in complete games with 10 overall. And Pettitte was a tough competitor. He went 21-8 that season, and then in third place you had Yankees closer Mariano Rivera, who finished third with a single first-place vote. So it was a tough season, but Henkin came out on top, had endurance and control that helped give him the edge past Pettitte, and that marked a career high for him when he won this award, the high point of his career. On November 13th, 1997, Larry Walker became Canada's first MVP. Yes, that's right. He was the first Canadian-born player to win the National League MVP award, and he put up some great stats for that season. He hit .366 with 49 home runs and 130 RBI. So this historic win, it came during an incredible week for Canadian baseball because Toronto's Roger Clemens and Montreal's Pedro Martinez each won the Cy Young that year as well. Even though they weren't Canadian-born, it was a Canadian fest, I guess, for award-winning that season. So Larry Walker, one of my favorite players growing up watching. He had this combination of power and defense. Fan favorite, obviously, for the Rockies. I loved watching him. And he was a trailblazer for Canadian athletes in the MLB. On November 14th, 1985, the Brewers released all-time saves leader Rollie Fingers. So, you may be thinking Rollie Fingers in his prime. Keep in mind, when he was released in 1985, he was 39 years old, but he was the all-time saves leader with 341 career saves. And on top of that, he had put together an amazing career before going to the Brewers. He had 7 All-Star nods. He was the World Series MVP with the A's in 1974. He won a Cy Young and the MVP award winner in 1981 as well. So he was known for having this signature handlebar mustache, and he had this dominant presence on the mound, and he really changed the way that relievers were viewed in baseball. So his release marked the end of an era for Major League Baseball, but he was getting on in years. The Brewers needed to be able to save some cash, so they did this move. But that impact that he had on the game and that mustache remains unforgettable. On November 15th, 1967, Carl Yastrzemski capped off an amazing season where he won the Triple Crown by also adding that MVP season. Yes, Yaz himself, who had hit for the Triple Crown that season, also was given the MVP award on top of it, just to cap off an amazing season. His 1967 stats included a .326 batting average, 44 home runs, and 121 RBI. So this season became a real defining chapter in Red Sox history. It lifted them to the pennant that year. And of course, Yaz becoming the MVP in a landslide on top of the amazing accomplishments for that year really made it a memorable season. Now, there was a huge drought in Triple Crown winners after Yaz did this in 67. We didn't see another player do it until Miguel Cabrera did in 2012. On November 16th, 1964, Mets legend Dwight Gooden was born. So Dwight Gooden was known for his pitching and hitting dominance in his career. Born on this date, so we take a moment to celebrate him. Just going through some of his career highlights, he was the 1984 Rookie of the Year. He was the 1985 Cy Young Award winner. He pitched a no-hitter with the Yankees in 1996. And he hit 7 career home runs and won the Silver Slugger Award in 1992. Now, Gooden was just an all-around smart player. He was a natural lefty, but he batted right-handed to protect his pitching arm, which, he was a southpaw. So over his career, just a guy that was a true all-around talent. So we take a moment on November 16th to remember that birth date where he came into the world and eventually became a baseball player that millions got the chance to see, just on a whole nother level of talent. And on November 17th, 1991, Smead Jolly passed away. Now, some of you may not be familiar with Smead Jolly. He was really known as one of the game's unique personalities. He was an underrated hitter, and he passed away at the age of 89 on this date. So the thing that's really come to define his career was his defensive struggles, known for making some very media cringe errors in his short career. But he was also a really good hitter. He posted a .305 career batting average, even if it was for a short amount of time with the White Sox and with the Red Sox. But he had this quirky, memorable style, of course, those unforgettable defensive mishaps. And I did a whole episode on his career talking about how his career in the Pacific Coast League and that hitting talent that he showed should have been the real story that followed him and not the defensive errors. So you should check that out. I make the case for, kind of rethinking how we remember Smead. There is a link in the newsletter. I'll also put it in the episode show notes if you want to check it out. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of another bonus episode. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a subscriber to the show. Remember, you can help me continue to grow things out by, if you can, becoming a premium subscriber. Just $1.25 a week unlocks several benefits for you, including early access to each week's episode. I want to thank you to my paying subscribers for continuing to prop up the show. Some exciting things I'm really looking forward to as we grow the network and grow the output. So with that said, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thank you for being a part of this, and take care.